Hey everyone, Robert Ferringo with Doc Sports here on Friday, October 4th with your NFL Ferringo 5. Today we're going to be looking at 5 games that I'm going to be looking at on Sunday as I watch the NFL. Hope all of you are set to have a fantastic weekend. I know that I am very excited about this weekend, football and non-football related. My 2 big plays this weekend, I have a 6-unit play in the NFL on Sunday, 7-unit play going on Monday, and I'm looking forward to a big weekend. So plus 1,000 over the last 2 weeks. Picked up plus 2,200 in one sitting 2 Sundays ago, even though I gave a healthy amount of that, an unhealthy amount of that back last weekend. So hoping for a little bit better results this weekend. I'm pretty sure it's coming. So, but anyway, these are 5 games. If you watch my college football Ferringo 5, you know what we're doing here. If not, basically, these are just 5 games that I'm going to be looking at on Sunday. These aren't necessarily 5 games that I have picks in, that I'm playing, that I'm betting, that's not what this is. It's just these are the 5 games that I'm most intrigued by, and I want to see how these teams perform relative to my expectations of what this game is going to be. And we'll get it started off first with Jacksonville at Carolina. Okay, really, really interesting game. First of all, we have the battle of the backup quarterbacks. Minshew Magic. We got Gardner Minshew going for Jacksonville and Kyle Allen going for Carolina. Both teams are fresh off road wins last week, and both teams are really constructed in similar fashions. They both run the ball and play good defense. They both rely on their quarterback more not to make mistakes than to make big plays. So what's interesting to me about this game, not only that we have 2 very evenly matched teams, but the public loves Gardner Minshew. They are all in on this kid, and he's a fun character, but they're actually putting their money on him as well. 60% of the action is coming in on the Jaguars in this game. However, in response to that, the books actually moved this number off to 3. It opened at 3. It is now 3.5 pretty much across the board. That's kind of a red flag to me. So who's going to win this one out? The public, who is just loving underdogs these days, or the Sharps, who obviously have moved this number here. So that's going to be an interesting, and it's 2 very similar teams playing 2 very similar styles, which is a good transition into my next game that I'm going to be watching for, and that's Buffalo at Tennessee. Same type of setup, okay? You got 2 hard-nosed, run the ball and play good defense type of teams. Which one is going to be able to control this game? On Buffalo's side, is Josh Allen going to play, and is he going to be able to play effectively? If not, what's Matt Barkley got? Okay, what's he going to show us? The Bills aren't really constructed to be a quarterback-dependent team. They run the ball, which they're doing effectively, and which Frank Gore did extremely effectively last week. They play fantastic defense. This is definitely one of the 5 best defenses in the NFL. They've been proving it every week, but they really proved it in shutting down the Patriots. They made the Patriots offense look stupid for pretty much the entire second half of that game last week. What do the Bills have in the tank? If they're a legitimate contender, legitimate contenders, legitimate postseason teams can shake off a loss like what happened last week at home against the Patriots, go on the road, and beat an inferior opponent the next week. That's what good teams do. Are the Bills a good team? Are they there yet? I think they're trending in that direction, but we'll find out. We'll find out if they have a letdown from that home loss. And then on Tennessee's side, who are they? Who are the Titans? They go on the road and they beat the Browns, and they beat the Falcons really pretty easily. They kind of physically manhandled them in that game last week. But they haven't won at home yet. So who are these guys? Are they any good? Are they good is their offense, is Marcus Mariota and some of the veteran playmakers that they have on that team, are they good enough to break through against the Bills defense that, again, is amongst the best in the league? So that's going to be another interesting game to keep an eye on. Now, speaking of Atlanta at Houston. I'm sorry, I got a lozenge here because I've had tonsillitis for like the last 2 weeks, and it just refuses to go away. Atlanta at Houston, okay? Same thing. Who are these guys, man? I think I know who Atlanta is, and I think they stink. That they have been terrible since their opening game in the Hall of Fame game. They were terrible all preseason. They have been terrible the first month of the season. Dan Quinn he's got to go. He's got to go. He had his moment. He had his chance. He blew that chance spectacularly in the Super Bowl several years ago, and they haven't been the same team since. And they're just not very good right now. I don't think the Falcons to me look like a 5-11 type team, and that's with Matt Ryan. That's when you have one of the 8 or 10 best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Maybe, yeah, he's definitely in the top 10, probably in the top 8. And you still can't win. That shows how bad your roster is and how bad your coaching is. But with Houston, they have plenty of talent. They have not been able to take advantage of anything. They should be 1-3 right now. They should have lost that game at home to Jacksonville. Bill O'Brien, again, is a mess. His in-game management is terrible. His clock management is terrible. He is not getting anything out of this offense. Where is the innovation that we saw 2 years ago when Deshaun Watson first stepped in and all of a sudden they were ringing up 40 points a game? You take that little 6-game subsection out of Bill O'Brien's tenure over the last 5 years, what has the Texans' offense been beyond one of the worst in the NFL? So we really have kind of two desperate teams. I feel like Atlanta is the more desperate. They lose this game, they're 1-4. Their season's over. Dan Quinn's coaching career in Atlanta is all but over, okay? So this is kind of a desperation game. The other kind of interesting thing that jumps out at me on this game is that the total has shot up overnight. It was 49 yesterday. It's 50.5 now. Obviously, somebody with some big money came in and dropped it down on the total in this game. Is it going to be high scoring? I mean, everyone keeps expecting Houston to break out and actually do something offensively, but they never seem to do it. So are they going to show up? Are the Falcons going to show up? Who knows? That's what's going to make that an intriguing game to me. All right, next, Minnesota at the Giants. This is the fourth game that I am looking at. All the talk all week has been about how awful Kirk Cousins is. And he's not a great quarterback. We knew that. He's not a good fit with the Vikings. That much is obvious. But things are getting kind of toxic in that locker room. Some of the things that are being said is more than the run-of-the-mill, oh, we just have to work harder, we got to do better type of platitudes that we're used to hearing from professional athletes. So how bad are things getting in Minnesota? On the other hand, we have the Giants. They're riding high, man. 2 straight wins behind Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones. They may get Saquon Barkley back. I'm telling you right now, I was looking at video of him from practice today. He's going to play on Sunday. At this point, I will be more surprised if Saquon Barkley does not play than if he does. I think that's why you're seeing the line movement that you're seeing in this game. It was 5 when I went to sleep last night, 4.5 when I wake up today. And I think that's why. I think people know that he's going to play. 63% of the action is coming in on the Vikings, but the Giants are still above some of those key numbers there. Now, one thing about it, though, and this is what I keep coming back to. Remember last week, all the talk was about how desperate Philadelphia was going into Thursday's game and how great the Packers' defense was. That's all you heard. Everywhere, Monday through Thursday, that's all you heard was how great the Packers' defense was. And what happened? It went the other way, okay? It always goes the other way. Everything the public thinks they know about the NFL that they're so sure of, it instantly goes the other way, and then everyone is surprised and they're like, oh, nobody ever saw that coming. This is why the NFL is so unpredictable. I don't think it is. I think Kirk Cousins is going to have a good game in this matchup. I think he is going to play well on Sunday. This is the worst defense that he has faced. This is also the best defense that Daniel Jones has faced. He's played 2 chumps. They played the Bucs defense and the Redskins defense. And I'm sorry, but he wasn't that impressive in either one of those games to me. So what's he going to do against the Vikings? The most sophisticated scheme and the most talented defense that he has seen to this point. Is Kirk Cousins going to answer the bell? He may not be a great fit in Minnesota, but this guy isn't Blake Bortles. He isn't Blaine Gabbert. He isn't just like a total loser that can't play at all, and everyone knows this except him. Kirk Cousins can play a little bit. He can play a little bit. I think he's going to come to play on Sunday. Will he? Or will the momentum that Daniel Jones has injected in the Giants season and more momentum potentially with Saquon Barkley coming back, will that keep the Giants moving in the right direction? Final game that I'm going to be looking at is Chicago versus Oakland. It's not at Oakland. It's technically an Oakland home game, but this is a London game being played at 1 p.m., and I have to say I'm disappointed. I wish it wasn't being played at 1 p.m. I love those 9 and 10 a.m. games on Sunday. That's great. That's great, because normally the worst part of Sunday is sitting around waiting for the games to start. That's family time. I am never as good of a father as I am on Sunday morning and those 4 hours before the games start. Take the kids hiking, take them outside, play with them, do whatever. Get all my dad time in so that once kickoff comes at 1 o'clock, I can just be in drunken isolation in my office screaming at the television for the next like 10 hours. That's a side note. Where were we? Chicago at Oakland versus Oakland. Why can't I just embrace the Bears as one of the 5 or 6 best teams in football? Which I think that they may be. Okay, their defense is definitely top 5. Offensive line, their skill position players are healthy and showing a lot more awareness and cohesion within within Matt Nagy's offense. I think part of it is that I don't like Mitch Trubisky and I don't trust him at all. But he's not quarterbacking. We got Chase Daniel. He looked pretty darn good last week. Can he continue that? Oakland was a team that we bet on last week and scored the outright upset underdog victory with them over Indianapolis. I was one of the very few handicappers in the country that was pushing Oakland last week, and it was a nice hit. So I hate to go against them the week after scoring so well with them, but they're banged up. I know this Oakland team is better than last year's train wreck. I know that they are. But I think I'm just having a hard time figuring out how much better. How much better are they? So I feel like this will be a good yardstick because last year when they went over there and they played Seattle, they got freight trained. They were really never in that game and it was kind of a debacle. They're playing an equally talented Bears team this week. Are they going to keep it competitive, which they weren't able to do in their last trip to London? I don't know. That's what we're looking at. So, all right, those are the 5 games that I'm going to be paying most attention to on Sunday. Don't forget 6-unit play going on Sunday, 7-unit play going on Monday, which is one of my favorite bets in the NFL of the entire season. Hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Carpe diem and good luck.